everyone, hello and welcome in. It is a little bit late to be making a post-game wrap-up video regarding the Minnesota Vikings' second preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts that they just played yesterday evening. However, in my defense, that game started late, it ran late, the second half was boring, and I admittedly fell asleep during the fourth quarter with about 7 minutes left to go in the game. So by the time I woke up, too late to make a video, so we're going to do this now because I still want to get my reaction to this preseason game, go over some bullet points that I have, the good and the bad that we saw last night against the Indianapolis Colts, and I want to get your reactions to this game and anything that's on your mind regarding the Minnesota Vikings, whether it's player battles, players' performance, the overall game against the Colts, how you feel about the regular season, now having seen 2 preseason games. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Leave a comment on this video because it could be featured in tomorrow's video, the day after Indianapolis. We're still doing this sort of 2-day wrap up with the game because, well, while we couldn't do it in the moment yesterday, this is probably how it's going to go during the regular season for primetime games when we play on Sunday or Thursday night, where the games just go late into the night, close to midnight. Not ideal to film reaction videos when there's other people in the house trying to sleep. So that's just not how we're going to do things. It's not a good idea. So this is how we will do it. This is sort of practice for that. And make sure to leave a comment. I'll try to pick 10 at least. I don't want to make it a half-hour video, but I want to feature as many people as I possibly can. So as some advice for people leaving comments, if you don't write a book, it's probably going to be, increase your odds of getting featured because the screen caps can only be so big. So try to, concise, short, get to the point, and let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. You have a better chance of being featured if I can make a nice screen cap out of it. If you write a novel, I'll read it, but it's likely I can't put it on the screen. It's just, we're not at that stage yet. So just a heads up. So I'm going to go over some good bullet points real quick, some bad bullet points real quick. I'll opine on a few of them, and then we'll call it a day because I'm more interested in getting to know what you have to think and what you have to say, what you have to think. That doesn't make any sense. What you think and what you have to say, and we will react more in depth to your comments tomorrow. So the bullet points that I have. Good performances for players on an individual basis. Amir Abdullah, I felt like he had a good day. He ran pretty strong, didn't muff any punts. Amir Smith-Marset, he looked good on special teams. That is something that Mike Zimmer's been harping on him for. Had 2 good kick returns, looked nice and fluid doing those. The guard play yesterday, the interior offensive line, if you look at the PFF grades from yesterday, Ezra Cleveland and Oli Udoh performed very well. And even Dakota Dozier, I know we don't like the guy, but we've got to call it out when he has a good performance. So props to them for looking good against the Colts yesterday. Pierce and Tomlinson in their limited participation yesterday, they looked the part. It was a big outing yesterday for Bashaud Breeland. Absolutely insane how good he played. With the pass breakups, the one tip that landed in Troy Dye's hand for the pick 6. Bashaud Breeland has absolutely locked down the cornerback 2 job behind Patrick Peterson. So your starting outside corners are going to be Patrick Peterson and Bashaud Breeland. Cam Dantzler is just, I don't know what's going on with him right now. He seems to be regressing in his sophomore year, so I think a sophomore slump might be in the works for him. Hopefully he can bounce back, but I wouldn't expect to see much of him this year other than in a rotational role. It was also a much better day for the linebackers across the board. Troy Dye had a pick 6. He almost had another interception. Nick Vigil, decent day. Blake Lynch, he had a tackle for loss on 3rd down. Chaz Surratt had that huge hit on special teams. He was all over the place too. He was always near the ball when he was out on defense, so a much better day for him. Let's talk about the not so good bullet points, and I think you've heard a lot of this over the last 24 hours from other sources. The offense. Woof. Second straight week where this team does not score a touchdown on offense. So that is 8 total preseason quarters where they've only managed 3 field goals. And thanks to the Troy Dye pick 6, the defense has now outscored them, which is, I don't think that's where you want it to be with 1 preseason game left to go. It just feels out of rhythm. I watched as many snaps as I could last night, and I missed what was at the end, but I don't really think I missed anything other than the team blowing a 1-point lead, or a 3-point lead, but it is what it is. Or no, it was a 3-point lead because I believe it was 10-9 by the time I zonked out. But as far as the offense goes, I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if it's just, they're holding back too much, which I don't think they should be. Now, admittedly, they haven't had Justin Jefferson out there. Adam Thielen's been a little banged up. That was actually something that was bad that happened yesterday. Kirk Cousins kind of, hung him out to dry with that one throw that at the end of a drive there where he got hit, and had it been a regular season game, I think Thielen would have been suffering a little bit worse than he is today. But apparently it's only a thigh bruise. He should be all right. But I don't care about these this dink and dunk offense where we're just checking down to the running backs, trying to force it to Irv Smith. I want Irv Smith to be involved, but not in the way that I saw yesterday. And then we don't complete a pass to a wide receiver until the first half is almost over, and it's Jake Browning to Chad Beebe of all connections. Like what is going on? So we have a quarterback depth problem. That is the one thing that we know for sure with this offense, is that Jake Browning cannot be the backup quarterback. He needs to be sent to the practice squad. I think Nate Stanley should be cut, and he should clear waivers and try somewhere else. Danny Etling is still on this roster. I think he's going to need to be cut just so that they can bring in a veteran. I don't want to bring in a veteran, just for the sake of it, but I think we're going to have to. Somebody that can step in and manage a game, kind of similar to how Joe Flacco did last year in his limited capacity. So don't be surprised if they go out and get someone. But the problem is going to be, as Mike Zimmer hinted at, they have to keep track of the salary cap, because I think they're still going to try to figure out a way to get Everson Griffin on this team. What else happened? Bad day for Cameron Bynum. He looks lost out there. I know he's learning a new position, but yikes, dude, figure it out. The backup safeties are not having a good go at it, which I understand Mike Zimmer only uses his starters, but God forbid something happens to them. We already talked about Adam Thielen suffering the thigh bruise. That's something to consider. Rashad Hill was burned for that sack on that play action pass. Kwity Paye got around him for the sack. Rashad Hill, I don't know, man. I think some people left comments the other day that we need to get on the phone and call Russell Okung. So if you think about it, Everson Griffin, we need a backup quarterback. We need a left tackle potentially. I don't know how much money we have left in salary cap space. I guess like $13 million. So we have some problems. We also need a backup safety, because Dorn and Bynum are not it. So overall, better outing, across the board for the Minnesota Vikings. They were able to move the ball later in the game. The offense is still anemic. The problem with the quarterbacks, I think, is that they just haven't been having good practices lately after, the whole Jake Browning Saturday night coming out party, which Browning has fell off the wagon since then too. Like, we are a long way removed from that Saturday night practice. So Jake Browning's true colors have shown in the preseason game. He's no longer taking advantage of the opportunity presented to him. Kellen Mond is just so far behind the eight ball that he is definitely not going to play this year. And if he is forced into a regular season game, I think we're going to lose it. I think we will damage him and his confidence, and we will hurt him more than help him if he is to see real live NFL action, other than maybe a throwaway game where we're winning 42-0 late in the season. But I think Kellen Mond is definitely a project quarterback. He's definitely far behind in his studies. And then Jake Browning is just Jake Browning. And then Kirk Cousins, I'm not sure what is up with him. Some of the reports in practice suggest that he is a little off or a little rusty. So hopefully he figures that out. Admittedly, doesn't have Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook yet, so we don't really have to worry too much. So that's going to do it for my reactions. Let me know what your thoughts, opinions, and reactions are, and I will attempt to feature more comments in the day after Indianapolis, which will go up tomorrow evening. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.